Hello everyone, my name is phantasiart and today we're going to have a little bit of a different video. I'm going to try to show you my process and not of a speed paint kind of like pro process. So it'll be more detailed and I'll be explaining the process in general. So I'm not sure if to divide this video by parts, but I'll definitely do something like that, like cut the video and post multiple videos or something like that. So today we're going to be drawing Pure Vanilla Cookie on his pastel blue outfit. And as you can see, I have my little mascot right now. I'm pretty happy about that. So as you can see, I have a very big canvas, and this is because I use just one canvas per month to put all of my drawings in. As you can see with my April, it's loading. My April drawings, this is where I put all of my ideas. As you can see, here's the Mizuki drawing I did, and here's the the Kingslayer one. So yeah. Since it is May, I have a new canvas to work on. I usually make it 10,000 pixels wide, and yeah, let's start. So when I have a character I want to draw, I pretty much just test out poses, and I don't know what, I don't have any ideas right now, so I'm just going to try some stuff, like maybe him sitting with his hair pulling. I don't know, this is too, maybe too should I go with this pose? Let's try something else. Also, I always do like squares instead of circles, because I find it easier to later on build it, but that's just a personal preference. I don't really... I'm trying to not make it too fan servicey, because I do a lot of fan service, not intentionally, but I always get weird comments saying that I sexualize them or something, which I find very weird, but you know how the internet is. Maybe I should make him like this. Yeah, this, I like this pose, but I don't know what to do in the background. Maybe a little field and him in a I don't know. I'm not convinced. Right? Like, I don't know. But always sketch down what ideas you have, you know. Oh, this is better. Yeah, I have a better idea. Like a little bit of perspective. Like the same pose, but with a little bit of perspective. Also, I'm sorry about the audio. I have a very bad mic, and I don't know what to do to replace it. I don't have the money to replace it, but it's like decent. No, I don't like that up leg. I prefer a down leg. Okay. And for the background, I think I'm going to make like a little bit of flowers here and there and a tree, so then the light comes from here and there can be little leaves over here, and then there we have it. we have the idea done. So now I'll take a square off of it, and that will be my canvas size. So this will be my canvas, and I can make it bigger or smaller, but you know. And now I'll make the final sketch, where I have to put as much detail as I can for the actual drawing. And I'm just going to be doing that, so I'll probably speed this one part up. Okay, here we have the sketch done. It took a while, but I finally figured out what I wanted to do. And playing with the foreground and background is always a must. So now what we do is paint the sketch. Not with any kind of detail though. It's just to like understand where everything will go and where make like a mental image of it. So I'm just going to sketch what colors I want on this. A little bit of green. Make sure to put it all on a folder. So make sure to keep the foreground on a different layer from the background, and we're going to be putting a few art glow layers, so you can differentiate between the foreground and the background, which is always important. And I'm going to make like a little bit of purplish flowers. I saw a tree with similar flowers not too long ago, and I really liked it, so I'm on that mood. And I'm going to make little blue flowers on the floor. Because this is the pastel blue pure vanilla. As I said, you don't have to do too much detail, just get the colors you want. And right now I'm going to just copy the colors from the reference image. Very quick, give me a second. Okay. Now that I have the whole flat colors, I go with a clipping layer over the flat colors with white, and then pick a pretty light pink and start shading on the places I think have shadow, as you can see. Now, the whole picking where to put shadows thing is pretty complex, and honestly, I don't have any grasp on it either, but I feel like that with practice and looking at reference pictures, you can get better at it. I'm very bad at looking at reference pictures. I don't like using reference pictures, but if you can, do make sure to like pull up a shading tutorial or something. I don't know. After putting the light pink, I go with an even lighter color, which is like orange, and start blending with it, so it'll look more smooth once that it's time for shading. Warning though, I'm not going to use this shading for the end piece. This is just for having a reference as to where I have to shade, because I use Live 2D to animate my drawings, meaning that I have to cut each piece of the drawing. So I cannot like do a single a single layer, you know? And then with a purple, I know many people don't like using purple, but I like using purple. I go through the darkest parts of the shadows, if that makes sense. Like on the bridge of the nose and on the hair, just little strands of hair. And like just go over all the places where you are sure there will be a lot of shadow. And finally, I pick the purple and go with a lighter pink through the borders once again. This is to make the painting look softer, but you don't really have to. You don't have to. And finally, I go with white through the parts that need more lighting. And now I put multiplied layer. I multiply the shading we just did. And now it is time for the overall shading, which I pick whatever color fits the mood. This time I'm going to use some red and some purple. And just put a multiply layer. This is pretty harsh lighting, so don't worry about that. We're going to put an add layer afterwards. So if it looks too dark, do not worry yet. I'm going to put more purple here. And now I have to put some lighting. The light comes from the far right, meaning that I have to like put an outglow layer since from the far right. And now we just have to erase the parts that are too light. Okay. And I feel like it still needs a little bit more add glow. Dark. So we go with another add glow layer, but this time only for the tree. Yeah, and see, it looks a little bit better. And now with a light blue, I'm going to put it on the borders to get rid of that much dark lighting. Okay, and I feel like something is missing. Let me take out the tree line art. Where is it? Oh, it must be over there. Let me take this out because it's distracting. Yeah, and now with... Okay. See, now it looks better. I feel like it's too dark, so I'm going to get rid of a little bit of multiply. Okay. And there's something I want to try, which is doing a little bit of... How do you say it? I wonder if there's a brush for I'm looking for this yes, this is the I want it to look like he's under a tree, so I'm going to be putting some layers to help with that, such as I don't know how to do it honestly. Um, yeah, like that. Yes. So now we just take a little bit of out. As you can see, it adds a little bit of texture. And now I make this less harsh. Oh, I think that's the best I can do. I can seem to find a way to make it look better. It's not the best I've done. Like, I know I can do better, but I just don't know what to do. I feel like there's too much lighting and too much happening, pretty much. There we go. That's the best I can do. If you do not like it, then I'm sorry, I tried. But anyway, now I copy this and paste it into a new canvas. And start working. Let me save this one. Okay. So you may think that this looks kind of finished, but no, this is just the beginning. So what I do is hide all the layers except for one and start working from there. So I want to make like a field. So I'm just going to be adding grass. If you're curious about my brush, it's just a gouache brush, like the default from Clip Studio, but without texture and color. You know, the new feature of color. Okay, and finally we start the real deal, which is Pure Vanilla himself. So I do use my own drawing as a reference, so I just copy and create from clipboard again and just put him in a different like window. I'm not sure why you can't see my windows. Maybe I should have looked up how to do that, but I just keep the line art and then I put a white canvas in order to see it. And now we start with the actual process of painting a person. So I first take a dark color. Oh, first change the image resolution. I go for 3000 usually. And there we go. Okay, so I pick a brush with a dark color, and I think the ear is too up, like, and then start outlining the face. There we go. And since I have the other drawing pulled up, I just color pick from it and go wild. I pick a dark color and shade tape, a darker color, and now a lighter color, a purple, and now I go with a saturated color over the lines where there's dark. And now I blend it out. Because the skin is pretty blended, you do not see really, in my style at least, sharp edges on the shading. I know some people do very defined collarbones, cheekbones, and stuff like that. So it's like, depends on your style. If you want to make like, for example, a cheek like that, go wild. Like, there's no wrong way to do art. So have fun. Okay, now I pick the base color and add a little bit of lighting. And since I am doing a drawing for Live 2D, I separate each layer, but you don't have to. That is just a me thing. If you want to use Live 2D or CapCut a light motion, you do need to separate each part of the drawing, and I find it easier to just do it outright rather than later cut the drawing itself, because you have to redraw a lot of stuff either way, and I don't know, I think it's way more efficient to just do it outright. I don't get the jumpsuit that Vanilla wears. So as you can see, I made a new layer for the nose. I added the nose, and now with a light color I go over it and blend to not make it look too harsh. I don't like harsh edges on my faces. And with a dark color we go to the other side, and then the nose is done. It's that simple. Yeah, like that. Now for the smile, same thing. You just follow the sketch. And I also make an open mouth. There we go. So now, I'm not sure if I want Pure Vanilla to open his eyes, but I'll make his eyes open. Yeah, I'll make his eyes open. So I just sketch out his eye shape, which is a little more droppy than other characters. And yeah, it goes like down. So this part will be the, I think it's called the sclera. So the sclera. Okay, that's the sclera done. And now with the, how is this called? Like the eye? I don't know. The white part of his eye. And it's not a sclera. Now with a very whitish white, I just make his lashes. Some people do lashes on a different layer in Live 2D, but I don't because I don't like using physics. So if you use physics, do make sure to um, separate them. And now we draw the pink part of the eye. I really like doing that, honestly. Is his white? Is his eye yellow or blue on the right? I think it's yellow. Yes, that looks right. For eyes, I'm always undecided how I want to make them. So I honestly don't have a special way to make them. I'm not the best reference for this. Yep, there's one eye though. Wait, I need to do something else. So I put a very slight white line and also make little white lashes too. Now it's done. I lied again. I also make in the same folder the eye folds. Like I don't know how to call all of this. I just do it. There we go. Now the eye is finished. And we duplicate it and send it to the other side. So now it's pretty weird looking, so just gotta center it, make it a little bigger. Okay, the face is finished and I do the eyebrows over the hair. I don't know why, but I just do. There we go. And now we do the hairline with some yellow. Okay, so on hair, I am pretty bad at hair. I don't know how to shade it specifically, but as always I make an outline, then add the base color, and now I pick like a darker shade of the same color and start shading on the places I think that have shadow. I also make random triangles because hair looks like that. I don't know. And now with a darker shade of the same shade but darker, I go over this, over this, over this. Okay, and now I pick the first shading color and do a saturated version of it and start blending. You just put a little bit of pressure, not too much, and start blending. I don't use blenders, I just use the same brush, just very lightly. Now I pick the first color, the shading color, and with a more cooler color of the same range, I just put it over the zone. And the same thing for the darker color. I pick a more desaturated color and cooler and just go over it. But not covering all of it, just some of it. Okay, now I pick a very light color and start doing the highlights. And I also make random strands of hair with the highlighted color. And now I pick the base color and with a darker color surround it, but it has to be a little saturated. If you do it too gray, it won't look the same, you know? And now I pick a desaturated color and more cool color and go over it as well. And now I pick the base color and a saturated yellow color. Not necessarily yellow, but in this case it is yellow. And do a little line on the shading. Okay, and if it looks too far away from the color you wanted, like, just go over it with an airbrush in a color more similar to the one you wanted. In this case, I want it to be a little bit blonde, so I'm going over it with a blondish color. And I have to also do the same process for every single part of the hair. So I won't be talking here. So for Live 2D, you have to do the back of the head too, because that way you can make more interesting angles. It's not something essential for most animations, but I do it. Okay, so now the face is done. We need to do the hat, which I always have trouble with Pure Vanilla's hat because it's kind of like weirdly shaped. I don't know how to say it. Like the little crown thing. Yeah, that is pretty hard for me. I'm going to make the little crown here, so his little French can show off a little bit. See, it's like a little weird shape, which I do not understand. As you can see, for every object, I do the same technique as the hair, which is put a dark color surrounded by a saturated color and then fill it in the part which had the darkest color with a desaturated cool color. I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe I'll do a little sheet where you can see each step. I don't know. Okay, so now the body. So here I work a lot with folders, which are pretty useful. It's a pretty useful feature for organizing, and I really love it. I don't know what I'll do without. Um, without, I keep getting distracted. Without folders. For pieces that are too dark, like this one, where you cannot tell the beginning from the end, you always should put a little bit of blue or purple to act as like how do you call it? It's a light. It's a source of light. Um, but I'm not sure how it's called. Directional light or something like that. You can even put like green, since the grass is green. You can put a little bit of green in there, or a little bit of blue. Something that separates the head from the neck. You can just choose the color of the sky, the color of this, any color really. Okay, we finally finished. We finished pure vanilla, and thankfully the only thing left is shading and all that. Um, so what I do is, since I made the different layers, um, like separate from pure vanilla, I can just put everything back to how it was. So I just bring down the layers that I had done and the sketch. I think I added too much lighting here, so let me get rid of it. Yeah, this is too much. Yeah, like that. This one needs a little bit of deleting as well. Now we put this, a little bit of blue, a little bit of shading, and more shading, and a little bit of contour, and the light. Now I'm just going to define some final touches, and I'll be done to animate, because of course I have to make my life harder. I'm not sure if to put this or not. Okay, so I think I'm going to put some like, yeah, like this, a little trunk over here with a little bit of this. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed that this took 2 hours. Technically, it's 1 hour 47 minutes, which I didn't notice that I was that fast at drawing. I'm going to put more. I'm going to put more flowers over here. And I'll be done. And multiply. A layer of multiply to make it look like the foreground. And done. I'm sorry if this was kind of like not the best video. It's my first time, and I just wanted to show my actual process of drawing instead of just like, showing a speed paint. Anyway, if you have any doubts on anything, I am happy to help. I'm not a professional, so I am still learning too. So please leave a comment if you need help with anything, and bye bye!